Rockstars, and welcome to our Free Motion Quilting Academy welcome party. My name is Holly Ann Knight of String and Story, and it is my job to guide you to quilt with confidence. Y'all, tonight is a very special night because this is our final Free Motion Quilting Academy cohort of 2021 and the last cohort until summer of 2022. So I have with me all 279 and counting of y'all who have jumped into Free Motion Quilting Academy, and I am so excited to be welcoming you here this evening. Now, every time I go live, it takes folks a minute to find me, so I am going to chat it up for a second while y'all are all logging on. If you are new to String and Story, Free Motion Quilting Academy is my signature online course that guides you from being a nervous beginner free motion quilter to a confident intermediate quilter. My goal is to help you finish your own quilts on your home machine, on your mid-arm, on your long arm, whatever machine you have. This class is for you. There's a student that has gone before you on that machine, and you can experience success inside Free Motion Quilting Academy. So as I mentioned, I'm super excited to be spending this evening welcoming 279 new students. I was gonna put on a dress for you guys and get a little zhuzhed up until I remembered that the stripes on my shirt match all of our lovely name stripes for you guys, and that just felt a little too perfect. So Jeannie, I see that you are here. If you are logging on with me, say hello in the comments, introduce yourself, let us know where you're tuning in from. Are you already enrolled in Free Motion Quilting Academy? Are you a graduate of Free Motion Quilting Academy? I want to be able to see you guys as you are jumping on, both on YouTube and on the Facebook page. Oh, this is so exciting. So Jeannie is here. She is a graduate of the Academy. Dorothy Fleury is here from Rhode Island. That is so exciting. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I am going to, yay! Let's see, can you share to the Q Rockstars Facebook group? Okay, Heather is with me. If you are new to String and Story, you may not know Heather yet. Heather is my executive assistant, and she is someone who is going to be often communicating with y'all because there are a lot more of y'all than there are of me. So if you don't know Heather yet, you'll know her soon. I was sending her a quick text because she is tuning in from her home, and it's going to be in the chat, just making sure that questions get answered. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scroll down and see everyone who is here with me, and then without further ado, I'm going to begin welcoming each of you into the Academy by name. I'm so excited. And then at the end of our little welcome bit, I will share a little bit about Free Motion Quilting Academy for those of you who are maybe hearing about it for the first time, and answer any lingering questions you may have if Free Motion Quilting Academy is something that you are interested in, but you are still figuring out if it is the right fit for you. This is the last night to enroll, so this is a really big, exciting deal to be here together, all right? I see Jeannie, Dorothy, Terry, Charlotte, Cindy, Selwyn, Sue, Bonnie Sue, Tori, Carolyn, Rachel, Sandy, Martina, Pam, and more. I am so thrilled to welcome all of you guys here. Some of y'all are from Georgia. Some of y'all are from all over. I did not print out our location list tonight, but that's something that I'll have to share in the future. I know our most recent cohort of the Academy, we had 12 countries represented. So it's really fun to represent different time zones, different states, different countries, and all come together around our love of quilting. So without further ado, I'm going to begin making a little garland from all of your names. All right. So welcome Gayleen to Free Motion Quilting Academy. Welcome Kathy Rathburn to Free Motion Quilting Academy. As I am doing this, we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be a quilting rock star. Welcome Lori Giles. I love to create this little garland as we are starting off a new cohort together, because one of the things that we will spend a surprising amount of time talking about, welcome Felicia, is your IMG. And if you are not familiar, your IMG is your inner mean grump. You may have heard your IMG referred to as your inner critic, right? Your inner critic is a part of your brain that its job is to help keep you safe, but sometimes it freaks out when it doesn't need to. Welcome Tamara. Welcome Sue. I'm gonna read off a pile of names and then I can chat and staple at the same time. Welcome Sue Rokos. Welcome Rita Schubert. Welcome Deborah McAteer. Welcome Jeannie Yerkart. Welcome Daryl Lee. Welcome Paula Kotzmoyer. I'm going to try to do my best justice for your names, but please forgive me. Jeannie is worried and warning all of y'all that you may end up buying a long arm. We have had a few folks do that. But your IMG, it's an important part of your brain because it helps keep you alive, helps keep you safe from danger, but it can also make it difficult to learn new things. And that's why what you have decided to do is important, right? Already we can see this garland forming. And this is meaningful because these fellow rock stars, fellow folks who are learning Free Motion Quilting Academy alongside of you, along with the nearly 2,000 Free Motion Quilting Academy students who have gone before you, they are going to help keep you strong. They are going to help answer your questions, help get you unstuck. They're going to encourage you when it feels hard. And I like to start off our time together by making this garland to drive home how important it is to do things in community. Welcome, Belinda Mitchell, Kim Snow, Karen Register, Kathy Bryan, Michelle Brooks, Sandra Walker, Lisa Blackburn, Nora Lee Wells, Patricia Love, Amanda Sellers, and Kathleen Miller. I'm so excited to have you guys in Free Motion Quilting Academy. But I love to really emphasize to us how important it is to do things together. And I think that is more important than ever as we continue to live with the COVID-19 pandemic, right? And there's an extent to which many of us are still living isolated lives far away from the people that we love, and knowing that while it may be virtual, right, while we may be joined via technology, hello, Sue. Oh, Heather, I see you in the chat. How fun. While we may be joined by technology rather than physical presence, that doesn't make these bonds and these friendships that you're going to be forming any less real or any less meaningful, especially in a season where we all need more people in our corner. You know what I mean? We all need more people in our corner. So if you are here and you have signed up for Free Motion Quilting Academy, I would love it if you would drop in the chat what you are most excited about the coming 12 weeks plus together. And if you are here and you are already a member of the Academy or you're a graduate of the Academy, I would love for you to put some words of encouragement or words of advice for our new students in the chat. And I am going to share some of those as we are going along. The last time I was using this software to stream, I discovered the almighty power of being able to put comments up on the screen, and I'm drunk with power and eager to put all of your exciting things up on the screens. All right, so while all of you are chatting, I'm going to read out some more names of some more amazing rock stars who are joining us. Look at this. We've like barely gotten started and we already have a proper little garland. All right. Welcome, Teresa Fleming, Jacqueline McLean, Anita Johnson, Pat Mahoney, Mariah Wood, Kim Delina Chef, Judy DeVries, Connie Zabel, Suzanne Hutchinson, Susan Simon. I'm trying to gather a collection of colors. Sue Duhamel, Melissa King, and Sharon Chikima to Free Motion Quilting Academy. Rita says, I love this. Rita says, I purchased a long arm in June and didn't get it set up till almost the end of July. I signed up for your Free Motion Quilting Academy because I'm really hoping it'll help me learn to quilt well on my sewing machine and translate it better to my long arm. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Serena. My shirt is very on brand. It makes me very happy. Nola says, I'm getting back in the saddle after a hiatus of several years, refining skills and learning new skills. The community is a fantastic bonus also. Yes, Nola. My favorite professor in college, her name was Nola. I just think you should know that. Yay, yay, yay. Kathy Bryan says, I'm looking forward to learning to plan and quilt designs. Yes, ma'am. Peg Johnson says she's excited about confidence and routine. Oh, these are so good, y'all. Kim, I will admit I had a wee bit of caffeine before jumping on. Sue says, of course, hold on, where'd it go? Sue, I lost you, come back. Sue says, of course, everyone should join. We are a fantastic bunch of quilters and an awesome cheering squad. Listen, Sue, I feel like we take encouragement to like a whole new level inside Free Motion Quilting Academy, personally. So I think you're exactly right. And I think what Sue also hints at here is, you know, we do a lot of quilting, but we do a lot of life too, right? My 2020 cohorts got to do a lot of life in terms of 2 ankle breaks and an appendectomy with me last year, but we've gotten to do some more joyful life this year, but we share the ups and downs, right? We do the thing that folks have been doing for hundreds of years. If we come together and quilt, and while we are quilting, we are also living. And I think that's one of my favorite things about Free Motion Quilting Academy and about this Quilting Rockstars community in general. Am I hopelessly biased? Of course I am, but it's because y'all are fabulous. Dawn says, new cohort, most excited about practicing what I'm learning and to take it to my projects so that I have the confidence to finish my UFOs. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. I love, yes, Hack is always this energetic. Yes, yes, yes. Mary says, I want to quilt my quilts as I envision them, not limited to straight lines. Love that. Bonnie Sue says, before the academy, I had a love, mostly hate relationship with my sit-down long arm. Now I look forward to any block of time that I can spare to sit and free motion quilt. The members in Holly Ann are so encouraging, supportive, and knowledgeable. Oh, Bonnie Sue, that is so kind. So absolutely fabulous. By the way, if you are joining and you're going, okay, now I'm very, very interested. Thank you very much. There is a link in the caption of this video that you can go pop into the academy. And at the end, I'm going to check. And I have extra little sheets here so that I can add you to our garland. Okay. All right. Another pile of names. You ready? Welcome, Patty Pritchett, Elizabeth Chamberlain, Janik Ustruck, Alicia Learman, Kathy Reynolds, Ariel Cummings, Ariel, Rachel Koldenhoven, Annie Ringering, Kathleen Garcia, Tracy Bowman, Susan Hartman, Mary Bush, Janet Lawver, Tracy Ruffinan, Beverly LaFrance, Tamara Schindler, yay Tamara, Kimberly Painter, Sherilyn Combs, Vicky DeGraw, and Donna Wright. I am so thrilled to have y'all in the academy. All right, I know I'm missing some comments, so let me scroll down and see. Oh my gosh, S. Kaiser says, first sewing class in 45 years. However, I never stopped sewing and have a 1-year-old long arm quilting machine, I'm guessing, LAQ, ready to move to the next level. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I lost where this is. Minnie Wolf says, enjoy and just relax. You will learn how to free motion quilt. Practice, practice, practice. You'll learn something new and it is fun and scary. Just don't give up. That is it. Listen, there is exactly one way to fail Free Motion Quilting Academy. All right. You ready? This sounds very serious, right? Because some of you guys have seen, we have a graduation from Free Motion Quilting Academy. Like we are not playing around here, but there is only one way to fail, and that's to quit. All right. And to be clear, it does not mean that if you do not finish the class, that you are inherently failing the class, right? Your inner mean grump, it's going to say all kinds of things, right? There's a difference between saying, I've learned what I need to learn for right now, for me, and being like, I quit, right? And I encourage you, stick with it through the hard things, because look at this cheering squad. Margot Little says, I just got home from work, so I'm signing up in a little while. Yes, or signing in for a little while. I love that, Margot. Oh, thank you, Heather, for dropping that link. That is so, so helpful. Susie says, I'm looking forward to learning how to feel in control while doing free motion. It feels fast and crazy. Oh, Susie, it is, but that's really the fun part. It's like driving a race car with a needle, which sounds really terrifying. Sorry about that. Sandy says, looking forward to restarting after getting my husband's heart issues fixed. Oh, I'm so glad of that. I'm so glad of that. And Carol says, looking forward to the journey. Glad to be part of the group. Carol, we are over the moon to have you, Rockstar. This is just the beginning of a really fabulous adventure that we are going to have together. And I love creating a little visual for us as we get going. Love, love, love. I'm scrolling up. Paula Kotzmeyer says, I have sewn and embroidered for years, but never quilted. Looking forward to trying and creating something new. I love that, Paula. Aw, Kim, thanks. Kim says, you're fun. You make learning fun. That is my goal. Did y'all know? Some of y'all will not know this if you are new around here. My original plan had been to be a middle school literature teacher. I feel like, oh, we're out of staples. Hold, please. I feel like this look would have suited that profession quite as well. But I've known forever that I wanted to be a teacher. I just thought it would be in a much more traditional setting, right? And I think it is so fun to get to teach in a rather unconventional way. and unusual, so to speak, subject matter, right? I met a lovely woman on my way over here this evening that she was in town from Colorado. Hi, Donna, if you like randomly happen to find this on the internet. It was delightful meeting you. She was in town from Colorado, and she asked for my help finding the restaurant where she was having dinner, right? And I was like, oh, I'm going right by there. I will walk you over because that's much easier than explaining it and then us awkwardly walking together for the next, 500 yards. So she asked me what I did, and I was telling her, she was like, that's incredible. Tell me more. And it's so fun getting to share free motion quilting with y'all and then getting to share quilting with the world, isn't it? I love it. Let's see. Margot says, congratulations, you are about to have the best sewing experience ever. I'm a spring 2020 cohort member, and I'm so happy to not feel pressured to finish before life events allow. I was close last month, so I will graduate with you, my people. I love that. And Margot brings up a really important point, right? Once you jump into Free Motion Quilting Academy, you do have lifetime access. So I know that there are some of y'all, and I know this because you've been emailing us, and so it's been fun to get to share this. You've been emailing us and you're saying, life is very busy. I'm worried about keeping up. And that's the beauty of learning online and connecting online, is that you can move at your own pace, right? I'm going to create a schedule for the next 12 weeks. For those of you who thrive with structure, it will be absolutely fabulous. And for those of you who need a little bit more freedom, you have lifetime access and you can create your own way through this. I have to try to make sure this doesn't get too twisted or it's just an absolute bear at the end. All right. Oh my goodness. I love this. All right. Ready? Welcome. Christy Johnson, Deanna Dennis, Peggy Garvan, Marjorie Kitahara, Debbie Murray, Patricia Herdima, Anita Lee, Martha McCauley, Lisa Mosley, Libby Simon, Jackie Corsi, Callie Ivanuk, Julie Miller, Lori Franklin, Krista Marvin, Marcia Escargacia, Carol Cobalt, Heather Flores, and Deborah Edwards. Oh, y'all, how terribly thrilling. Emily says, I just graduated. Y'all are in for such an amazing adventure. Hack is amazing, and the course is fantastic. Also, completely unrelated to these kind words. They are very kind. Thank you, Emily. And congratulations on your recent graduation. I love that abbreviating my name to Hack has caught on. I have always used my 3 initials as an abbreviation, and I love that y'all have started doing it too. Makes me feel like we're for real life friends, as you know, we are. We just have to do this computer thing right now. Lisa says, welcome to Rockstars. This class is going to change your life. You will love Holly Ann. Lisa, you are so kind. Oh, and Terry says, I'm looking forward to having a little something I do for myself outside of my everyday full-time job. I think that is a beautiful reason to be part of Free Motion Quilting Academy, Terry. And I think that's a beautiful reason to sign up, even if you do have a busy life, even if you are working a full-time job, even if you are a full-time caregiver or a full-time parent, is you can just carve out a wee bit of time for yourself and fit it in here and there, and you will finish when you finish, and you will graduate when you graduate, and you get to hang with us the whole time regardless. Pretty fabulous, right? Patricia says, I signed up in fall 2019 and graduated in spring 2021 after 4 cohorts. Go at your own pace. Love it. Dorothy says, woke up 3 times last night and FMQ'd my way back to sleep. Looking forward to being able to FMQ when I'm awake. Yes, I love that you're already dreaming of it, Dorothy. That makes me so happy. So y'all, I hope you can see here, this is exactly the attitude and the spirit that I want us to be carrying into this cohort together. I need to be able to staple faster. All right, keep those comments coming, both from my graduates and from my new members. If you are new, you just signed up, and you have something you are very afraid of. What are you most nervous about heading into free motion quilting, you know? One of the things about fear is that it thrives when we don't look at it straight on, all right? Fear really thrives when we keep it kind of shunted off to the side, when we're nervous or scared about it or a bit embarrassed. But as soon as you drag fear out into the light, right? and you put a nice beam of light on it and you speak some truth and facts over it, it becomes a lot harder to stay afraid, right? This is why if a child has nightmares, often we will turn on the lights and be like, there's not a monster in the corner. It's okay, right? So let's do that now. If you are new to Free Motion Quilting Academy and you've got a little shadowy monster in the corner making you nervous about jumping in, I want you to summon your courage and share with us, what are you afraid of? Because not only am I going to speak over those fears, some encouragement and truth, I'm going to ask the rock stars who are in the comments to do the same thing. So we're going to help put your mind at ease a bit before we even get started with our class properly. All right. Nola says electric staplers are a thing. Double stick tape works well for paper chains too. They do, but I don't know if either would actually be faster. And I'm worried with an electric stapler, I might hurt my fingers. But I will continue to think of things. I used to tape these. It took forever, just like regular tape. Anyway, y'all type. I'm going to read off some more names. Welcome, Ashley Lund, Therese Bjorge, Suzanne Fryer, Terry Torres, Deborah Connolly, Lucy Waxman, Martha Mellor, Linda Spring, Trisha Cox, Joan Thole, Julie Boyer, Karen Brown, Kathy Phillips, Cynthia Kaminsky, Suzanne Skronsky, y'all forgive me if I get your names wrong, Ann Berry, Verlene Lewis, Marcel Marlowe, Leslie Phipps, Leslie Fant, Karen Boudouin, Sharon Kendall, Claire Silberman, Elizabeth Renwick, Joanne Smith, Imogene McCready, Allison Callahan, Peg John, Ruth Jaquila, Karen Potts, Mary Wellman, and Cindy Shock. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy, Rockstars. How terribly exciting. All right. Susie says, I am afraid of getting stuck and by myself. So Susie, you are in such the right place. Here's the thing. One of my main rules, if you will, of Free Motion Quilting Academy is that I don't ever want you to be stuck, right? This is why I love teaching this class cohort style for as long as I'm able to do that. So that you go through with all these other folks, right? You can't be stuck when there are 280 plus friends, plus the folks who have gone before you, right? This is why we have our Facebook group to connect in. It's going to be brilliant. Susie, it's going to be brilliant. Someone says, well, I lost my spot. Hold, please. Oh my gosh, it ran right away. Someone says, even after graduating in May 2020, it's still great to come back and join the Q&A sessions. Come to the welcome party and to the graduations. Just love to see what the new grads do. Someone, is it just me? Or do the new grads, every single cohort, seem to take like a special little joy in like trying to show up the cohort before them? I feel like our final projects just keep evolving and getting more incredible, and I'm loving it. Rita says, I'm nervous about getting even stitches and doing all the different motifs. Rita, I have great news for you. The first thing is that it is okay if your stitches are not even. They will be very uneven at first. That's very normal. Remember what I said a minute ago about free motion quilting being a lot like driving a race car with a needle, right? When we first learn to drive, we drive all herky-jerky, right? We hit the gas, we freak out, we slam on the brake. And that's just how it goes. And learning to free motion quilt is a little bit like that too. We're all herky-jerky at first. But it gets better with practice. And as you drive more smoothly, whether it be on your sit down, your domestic, your long arm, no matter which part you're moving, as you drive more smoothly, your stitches will get more even. And they'll never be perfectly perfect, right? Because you're a whole human and not a whole robot, but they will become very beautiful to look at. And before long, you'll wake up one day, look at your stitches and go, oh my gosh, those are pretty even. Look at me go, right? As far as the different motifs, we do about 30 motifs in Free Motion Quilting Academy, which is a lot for those of you who are counting. But we start at the very beginning with a meander, and I've designed the class so they build pretty well on one another. One of the recent grads made a comment that before she started the class, she was so convinced that she wouldn't be able to do the motifs that came later. And she was like, but lo and behold, by the time we got there, I totally could. So it will be all good. Dawn says, I'm most nervous that I won't be able to fit in the time needed and afraid that I won't be able to eliminate eyelashes around curves. Great news for you, Dawn. The first thing is that you don't need a lot of time, right? You don't need to do a lot of time in order to make progress. Little pockets of time, a little bit of doodling here, a little bit of stitching practice there will add up more than you think, right? And it's okay if the pockets of time that you have are small because you have lifetime access to the class. So if you need to take longer than 12 weeks, you're good to go. As far as eyelashes, typically what's going on with eyelashes on the back is that our tension is just a little tiny bit too loose and we need to tighten it up just a smudge. This is one of the very first things we talked about inside the class. Because when we go around curves, if anything is off about our tension, it shows, right? Kathy says she's nervous about figuring out where to start. This is entirely my job to show you where to start, and I'm really excited. We ease in with some baby motifs, right? We start with the meander, and we talk a lot about everything from supplies to posture to that first motif, and things build on each other. So you're never lost and you're never overwhelmed. Nola, you are gonna have so much fun. So much fun. Truly. I know that feels hard when you're learning something new, but very quickly you'll find the joy in the journey. Charlotte says, I'm recently retired and ready to finish my UFOs. Yes, yes, yes. Can't wait to learn how to quilt them without freezing and not knowing what to quilt on them and where. Oh, Charlotte, free motion quilting plans are one of my very favorite things in the whole world. Ask all of my current students. I never shut up about them. It can be very annoying because I'm totally enthralled with making plans for what to quilt where. As Kaiser is worried about addiction, I mean, Jeannie's not wrong that there are folks who end up buying long arms. But if that freaks you out, I have a whole blog post on should you buy a long arm that will help you figure out if that's actually the right move for you. Because not everyone needs to buy a long arm. You know? Terry says, I'm worried that I will ruin my quilt tops that I worked so hard on. So Terry, we're going to ease you into this, all right? So one of the final projects in Free Motion Quilting Academy is a whole quilt, right? But it's one that we piece with like 10-inch squares so that we're not so emotionally attached to it. And we actually practice moving a whole big quilt under the machine with that first, so that by the time you put one of your more precious quilts under there, it feels a lot more familiar and a lot less overwhelming. Oh, I love this. Sue says, you're never alone. Believe me, there is always someone on hand to help. Remember at the very beginning of our time together this evening, I mentioned that in the last cohort, we had at least 12 countries represented and a whole lot more time zones than that, okay? And that means that even if I'm not online, somebody is online who can help answer your questions in the Facebook group. Love, love, love. All right, let's grab another pile of names, shall we? I'm trying to make sure, like I said, that I have a nice variety of colors here of my 5 or 6 colors. Ready? Welcome, Brenda Guthrie, Jeannie Slepik, Pam Littner, Cheryl, Carol Severin, Annette Meth, Kathy Poloquin, Deborah Hoadley, Amy Loudon, Charlotte Sherman. Hey, Charlotte. Linda Gibson, Barbara Brown, Tarsha Saliba, Ruth Ann Nilsson, Kelly Miracle, Cindy Davis, Cindy Anderson, Becky Brazel, Karen Ringsven, Leslie Croft, April Olive, Alexandra Denny, Polly Long, Laura Devansaitis, Amberly Emery, Georgian Mazgaj, Barbara Colmetz, and Sarah Strews. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy, Rockstars. So excited to have you. Carrie says, I'm worried about not knowing how or where to start and afraid that it will not look good. All right, Carrie, I'm going to go ahead and pop a little bubble for you that I'm hoping will be helpful. It may not look good at first. That's okay. The first time we all tried to walk, we fell on our butts. If we were lucky, some of us fell on our faces. Right? The first time we practiced writing, it was nothing more than a scribble, right? The first time we tried to do anything, it was terrible, but that's part of the learning process. And when we're kids, we don't feel some kind of way quite as much about that, right? The tricky thing is that as kids, we don't feel some kind of way about that quite as much. And so we keep going, even though it's hard, even though it doesn't look good, even though we might be messing it up a lot, right? And the tricky thing is to do that as grown-ups. That's the tricky thing. But it's okay if it doesn't look good at first, all right? You're learning a whole brand new skill, and you're being brave enough to raise your hand and say that you want to try. And as far as how and where to start, not only am I going to ease you in at the beginning of the lessons, are you ready for this? You've already started. You've already figured out how to start. The way to start was by raising your hand and saying, all right, I've been fooling around with this, or I've been thinking about fooling around with this, and it is not working out the way that I want it to. And I'm going to need a class. I'm going to need someone to teach me how to do this. So you've already made an incredibly valuable step forward just by being here. Daryl says, I worry about tension problems and even stitches. Right after quilting plans, I think tension is one of my very favorite things to teach because it's something that can feel so scary and overwhelming, right? And I'm excited that we jump into that pretty early on in the academy so that we can get that right out of the way for you. We get kind of the bones of the thing sorted, and then you'll continue refining your skills with tension throughout the class. Sarah says, I'm most afraid of not knowing what to quilt where. I need practice and planning things out. And then, of course, there are those dreaded feathers to master. Oh, Sarah, my dear, let us not put the cart before the horse. We will get to the feathers when we get to the feathers, and that will be like in November. Like, we got a ways until we get there. We're going to do a lot of really cool things in the middle so that by the time that we get to feathers, they won't be dreaded anymore. They're going to be really exciting. All right? Let's see. Oh, I lost where I was. Margot, isn't it exciting? Margot says, oh my gosh, I love hearing all the new names. Me too. Me too. I just, every single one of you, as I call your name, I'm just freaking right out on the inside because of the adventure we're about to have. And knowing that you're sitting there on your end of this lovely little technological miracle called a live stream, and you're dreaming of your quilts, and soon you're going to be quilting them. Freaking magic. Freaking magic. I had the best job in the whole world. All right. Danielle's worried about tension problems. So as I mentioned, one of my very favorite things to teach, something we tackle really early on. And I can tell you right now, one of our very first Q&As, we will probably talk about almost nothing but tension. It's always something that comes up early on. Oh, ran out of staples again. Whoop. I'm very concerned that I'm going to pinch my fingers. Okay, we made it. Why is loading staplers so scary? Jan says, there's always someone on the Facebook group to help you. You will never be stuck and you are never alone. Amen. And Patricia says right after that, we are cheering for you. Right? I want you to remember that this is not the first garland that I have made of Rockstar names. Right? I've made one for the last cohort and the cohort before that. There was a time when we were putting sticky notes up on the wall. We were making a little collage instead of making a garland. Then I ordered some bad sticky notes one time and that turned into a whole thing. So now we make garlands. That's another story for another time. But all that to say, y'all are not the first, which means that the beginning of this garland isn't really the beginning. It's actually the middle. Right? You're entering into the middle of a story of a community of folks who are passionate about free motion quilting and passionate about lifting one another up, which means you are so far from alone and you have a giant cheering squad. Susan says, I'm so happy to be part of the new cohort. I'm afraid that my quilting curves will not be smooth. Susan, that's totally normal. So they'll probably be a little bit herky-jerky at first for all the reasons that I already explained. But mostly when our curves are not smooth, what we need, even though it's counterintuitive, more than anything else, is to speed up. Which is really scary when you're new, right? It's like, I'm 100% going to run over my fingers. Are you sure that that is good advice? But it is. I promise. Oh, I love that someone backed me up on each cohort trying to outdo the last. Oh my gosh, Margot. All right, Margot's going to make me cry at the rate we're going. Margot says, I have experienced more encouragement from the Free Motion Quilting Academy peeps than any other group of people I have ever been with. We help each other through those fears. Yes, 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 and yes, some more. Okay, I gotta give y'all an update on how long this thing is. Because look how many beautiful classmates, teammates, cheerleaders, fellow adventurers you have with you. And y'all, we're like maybe halfway through this pile of names. So don't worry if I haven't called your name. All right, ready? Welcome, Rebecca Gappert, Lillian Finley, Bridget Husk, Susan, Louise Parrish, Valerie Stone, Shirley Boots, Lisa Madrigal, Patricia Powell, Cynthia Rust, Marie Shabuski, Barbara Messinger, Wanda, Ming Rue, Susan McLean, Julie Kincaid, Valerie, Harriet Sparrows, Linda Odell, Barbara Sandys, Lisa Stover, Whitney Mask, Lou Ann Manning, Kathy Pollard, Mary Nyhan, Stacy Marsh, Amy Wetzel, and Clarence Agans. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy. How wonderfully exciting. Wendy says, I'm nervous about finding the correct needle, correct tension, eyelashing, where to start, what motif, and ruining my quilt top. Take a breath, love. That's many much things that your IMG is pestering you about. Your IMG is drinking too much coffee. I think maybe we should recommend that grumpy voice in your head take a break. I think it needs to go on vacation. So in fact, join me now. Quietly address your IMG. All of y'all, not just Wendy. I don't want to just be calling out hers because we all have a voice like this, right? Quietly address your IMG. You can name it if you like. I have friends that name their IMGs and they find that really helpful. I don't like to get that personal. I don't like to be on that good of speaking terms with my IMG because mine is real big and nasty. But say, you know what? It's really great of you, the way that you keep me alive and, help me catch things out of the corner of my eye that, might be flying at my head or, warn me to make sure that I, look both ways before I cross the street, that make me nervous of strangers that have a weird vibe who might kind of be threatening. But this quilting thing, it's going to be all right. So why don't you kindly take a nice beach vacation until, like forever, right? Well, let's just dismiss our IMGs from the room, kind of like when there's like a whole dinner party and the kids are there and all the grownups are tired of the kids being there and you just kind of dismiss them down to the basement to watch a movie and you say, go watch a movie, like go play a game, go outside. We can just do that with our IMGs. Now, to speak more seriously to the direct concerns, Wendy. The correct needle, my personal favorite is generally a size 16. If I'm quilting stuff that's not pieced, right, there's not seams, I might go down to a 14, but I like the durability of a 16. If I'm doing something that's real traditional and has a lot of seams, something like a Bonnie Hunter quilt, she's my classic example for this, then I will go up to a size 18 real fast for that added needle durability, all right? Tension, we're gonna talk about that even more than we did in the master classes last week. As we are heading into our first module or unit, I use those words interchangeably, but it's basically about a game of tug of war between your top thread and your bottom thread, and we're gonna get it all evened out. Eyelashing is related to tension. Where to start, you already have, because you're right here, and you're in exactly the place that you need to be with exactly the right fabulous fellow humans, and you're not gonna ruin your quilt top, all right? And here's why I say that so like almost off the cuff. Right? Oh, hold on. I'm seeing a question that I cannot read. Let me finish what I was saying. Where was I? Ruining your quilt top. I say that so off the cuff because we're going to take some time to not work on quilt tops. We're going to work on practice sandwiches. And then we are going to practice on a quilt, our final project quilt, that is not quite such high stakes, right, as maybe one that we've taken some time to piece, all right? All right, let me see what this question was. Heather is texting me, and I made the mistake of not looking at it right away. Let's see. Oh, yes, wonderful. Okay, so a question that came through that I did not see as it went by. Is this for you if you are on a long arm? Yes, 100% yes. Is this for you if you are on a Singer domestic? Ooh. Or a Singer featherweight, or a Kenmore, yes. Is this for you if you're on a Benina, a Pfaff, a Janome, a Brother? Yes. Is this for you if you're on a mid-arm? Yes. Is this for you if you are on a quilt, a quilting frame? Yes. So I hope what you are picking up there is this is for you if you want to learn to free motion quilt, full stop. It does not matter which machine you are on. We've got an enormous variety of machines represented in the Academy. I myself have a small domestic machine. I have a larger industrial machine. That's my Juki that's right here. And I also have a long arm. And I've quilted on many more machines, even the ones that I own, okay? So this is for you if you want to learn how to free motion quilt your own quilt. Fabulous question. So I'm not sure which of you asked that I missed it fly by, but I'm really glad that Heather pinged me about it. Lisa says, this course was the best investment. Oh my gosh, Lisa, you might get the award for making me cry. This course was the best investment I've ever made in myself. My fear was that I am not an artist. My drawing leaves a lot to be desired, but who would have known I am a thread artist? And that is spot on. Lisa's work is absolutely incredible, you guys. Lisa is a very prolific quilter, and you've since purchased a mid-arm, correct, Lisa? Because Lisa went back through the Academy on her mid-arm, and she made good use of that lifetime access. That when she changed machines, she went back through the class again to get comfortable on her new machine. Fabulous, fabulous. Cheryl says, would it make sense to start with your mini course? If you are here, I'm going to say no, and here's why. Right? The mini course exists for in between Free Motion Quilting Academy cohorts, so that you don't necessarily have to wait to learn absolutely anything, right? But Free Motion Quilting Academy is going to go away until summer 2022. And the mini course is basically the same as Unit 1 as the Academy, all right? So you don't need both. And if you are here right now, I would encourage you to jump on into Free Motion Quilting Academy. I don't want to leave you waiting, truly. I think you'll fly through it and then go, oh, darn. Like a week ago, I could have signed up for the Academy and now I have to wait a whole year. Great, great question. All right, welcome, Cindy Bow, or Baugh perhaps, Sonia Amex, Carolyn Fink, Angie Land, Michelle Quire, Linda Crank, Jana Renner, Nancy Duff, Beth Chandler, Marsha Louise Cutlip, Alexandra Helisaz, Deborah Rose Toscano. Deborah Rose, that is stunning. What a great name. Angela Ferrucci, Nancy Wolfing, Julia, Amber Lowline, Fiona Blake, Bernadette Wabi, Kim Renna, Deborah Spears, Susan Hogg, Sharon Kimber, Pamela Belt, Nancy Bradford, Pat Price, Connie Barker, Patty Kimmick, Ann Taraga, Amber Elliott, Ashley Wellens, Peggy Quarterman, Donna Carter, Kathleen Winecoop, and Linda Lawrence. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy, Rockstars. Oh, I thought I was going to lose my spot again. Oh, I love this. So Margot says, even when I graduate, I will check in with the Free Motion Quilting Academy group. New cohorts are like a breath of fresh air and provide a whole new realm of excitement. Oh, Margot, I feel the same way. Terry says, someone once told me thoughts are like birds. You can't stop them from flying overhead, but you can stop them from making a nest in your hair. I love that. Listen, if your IMG is telling you ugly things and those ugly things are living rent-free in your head, we are evicting that. We are going to make room for things that pay rent, like positive thoughts that help you free motion quilt. Tracy says, I was undecided about this course until this evening, but you have all convinced me that this is something I can do. Just got registered and excited to get started. Okay, hold please, Tracy. I have to write your name down now. Told you I had little cards. I was going to do this at the end, but since you're right here, Tracy, I'm copying your name, and that wasn't a very cute face. My apologies. Tracy, welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy Rockstar. I am so thrilled to have you, and I'm just really, really glad that you're here with us live and got to share that you signed up. Yes, Lisa did go back through. Sue says fantastic. I don't know what Sue's saying fantastic to, but I'm sure I agree. Aw, Margot says that this is seriously awesome. You won't regret it. Chris McMahon says, I'm hoping to get rolling through it this time. Chris, you can stick around as long as you want, dear. All right, so we have addressed what we are most excited about. We have addressed what we are most afraid of. If you are here with me and you are signed up for Free Motion Quilting Academy for this next cohort, I want you to tell me what quilt you are most excited to quilt yourself. If you are from a past cohort of Free Motion Quilting Academy, I want you to tell me what quilt you have most enjoyed quilting so far. All right, y'all, I love live videos like this because I love asking you questions and getting to read your answers. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so current new cohort folks, what quilt are you most excited to quilt yourself? Past cohort folks, what is your favorite quilt that you have quilted so far? All right. Justine says, I just signed up. Looking forward to setting up a routine and spending time daily to quilt. Justine, hold please. We got to get you on here. Got to dry my Sharpie. Justine, welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy. I am thrilled to have you. Yay, yay, yay. Let's see. Deanna says, anyone on the fence should just go for it. This is a great class. Holly-Ann is so encouraging, and I've learned so much. I plan on graduating with this cohort. Life is busy, which is another bonus to the class. You keep the lessons, and you can finish on your own time. Thank you, Holly-Ann. Oh, thank you, Deanna, for those kind, encouraging words. Jerry asked a very important question. She says, what is the smallest throat space that you have? I believe my Singer is 4.5 or 5 inches. It's very small, and that's pretty standard. If you are here and you are going, you know, I only have like a 4 or 5 inch throat space. Are you sure I can do this? Yes. First of all, your throat space is standard. That's very standard size on a sewing machine. Second of all, I taught this class on my Singer with the 4.5 to 5 inch throat space for years. We recently refilmed it on the Big Juki because it's a lot easier to see what I'm doing when I'm quilting with a bigger throat space. But please don't feel like that is representative of the throat space that you need to do this class. I have quilted up to double size quilts on my smallest throat space. And I know folks in this class who have quilted much larger than double sized quilts with a throat space that size. Yes, fabulous. Lisa says, my feathered Bargello is my favorite quilt that I've quilted. That is a gorgeous quilt. I was going to tell y'all you can scroll back in my Instagram to see it, but you probably would have to scroll pretty far. So y'all, if you are with me right now and you are watching on Facebook and you are in a past cohort of Free Motion Quilting Academy, when we finish here this evening, go pop in the Quilting Rockstars Facebook group and share pictures of the quilts that you're telling us about. Heather, will you pop over to the group now and create a post that folks can share pictures underneath? That would be so fun. Thanks, love. Justine says, I'm looking forward to figuring out how to quilt a spiral Lone Star from a class with Jan Krantz. That sounds amazing. I mean, you have me at Lone Star, so I'm here for that. Kathy says, I want to make a quilt for my best friend. I'm not sure yet what it'll be. I love that. I'm now realizing that I probably need to make quilts for my best friends at some point. Y'all, I'm the queen of selfish sewing. I call it my self-care sewing, but the vast majority of my quilts I keep. Makes me an anomaly. Yes, Cheryl says, will I be able to quilt a large quilt on my small machine? I do not have a long arm. Yes. Those of you who are in the class, what's the largest quilt that you've done so far? For graduating from Free Motion Quilting Academy, you will do approximately a 60, is that correct? 60 by 50 quilt, which is a pretty big quilt to be getting started on. Here's the biggest thing about quilting a large quilt with a small throat space. It takes patience, because the biggest thing is not that you cannot fit it through your machine. It's that it takes a lot of physical work on your body. Right? Free motion quilting on a sit-down machine is just work. All right. And so that's one of the very first lessons in Free Motion Quilting Academy is I talk to you about posture and things like stretching and hydration, things that we think of for working out, not necessarily for quilting. But they're super important if you're going to be quilting big quilts on small machines. So the biggest thing there is going to be working in small little bites of time. And then making sure that you're stretching and sitting properly and hydrating as you are going along. Fabulous question. Someone says, I love that I keep losing my spot because y'all are so chatty. This is so much fun. Someone says, my favorite was a quilt for our nephew and his new bride. Almost used a 6,000 yard cone, graffiti quilting a large throw size quilt. That is so much thread sewing. I love that. Y'all, here's another important thing you need to know. You quilted in all sorts of fun words. That's wonderful. Here's another thing you should know. I love dense custom quilting. You do not need to love dense custom quilting in order to succeed in Free Motion Quilting Academy, all right? There are lots and lots of students with very different quilting tastes from me, and I celebrate that because the quilting world would be terribly boring if we were all the same, all right? Dana says, I was confident enough to quilt a baby quilt after the first module. Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm talking about. That is some big rock star energy right there. Big rock star energy. And in fact, I encourage this. So Deanna, I love that you took me at my word and my encouragement to give that a whack. Because the sooner that you can finish a project and go, oh my gosh, I did the dang thing. Your IMG like packs up and leaves. Not necessarily packs up and leaves, but gets a lot better, right? It gets a lot easier to press forward when you've had that taste of success. All right, I'm going to pick up right here in a second. I got to read some more names. We're making progress, my loves. We're making progress. Ready? Karen Roberts, Amy Rees, Paula Honschild, Gwen Tucker, Wendy Davis, Deborah Gianchini, Barbara Waller, Rochelle Haas, Betty Pompey, Liza Alton, Martina Miranda, Nissa Buckman, Anita Nilsson, Deborah Jeffers, Elizabeth Town, Ellen O'Grady, Kathleen Figge, Kim Vogel, Cynthia Woodworth, Carol Denny, Linda Black, Roberta Ward, Lori Westland, Virginia Savage, Mary Dawn, Dee Warner, and Deborah Maginetti. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy Rockstars. I am so thrilled to have you. All right, let me get a sip of my slightly caffeinated sparkling water. Since I'm hollering. Paula says, I have a quilt top my 7-year-old grandson designed with Mario characters for his birthday. I need to have this ready for his birthday in November. Oh, Paula, you've got this, Rockstar. Great plan. I love that like little self kick in the pants to have a deadline already. That's big Rockstar energy too. I'm loving all this big Rockstar energy. Rachel says, looking forward to quilting my Socialites quilt along sampler. I remember the Socialites quilt along sampler. That's a fun one. Love that, Rachel. Love that. Carol says, a quilt that I'm giving as a gift. Isn't that fun when you can really do the whole thing start to finish yourself? I love that. Annie Davis Taraga says, I'd love to quilt the top I made for my granddaughter 13 years ago, but have to go from cot size to single and now double size. I've never had the confidence to finish it. So Annie, 2 things. 1, you are going to have the confidence to finish it, and we are going to celebrate the heck out of that quilt when it gets done. All right. But 2, I think it's worth thinking about making it a throw quilt. Everybody loves a good TV quilt. You know, the quilt that you keep on the couch, that you curl up with. And that can be a lot smaller than even a single, you know? Just a little thought. If you haven't done the piecing yet, I feel like we could wiggle out of some of the stress inches on that one, you know? Bonnie Sue says, looking forward to finishing my niece's wedding quilt. She's been married for 3 years. Yes, ma'am. We're going to celebrate the heck out of that too. In case you hadn't noticed, we pretty much celebrate the heck out of everything around here. We're big party people. We're here for a good time and some really fabulous quilts. Nola says, I made a quilt top about 20 years ago that I'm going to give to dear friends who like it. I have 6 other UFOs also, quilting on an Elna 6300 quilter's dream with no intention of buying another machine. You've got this, Rockstar. That's a great machine. That's going to be fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. S. Kaiser says, I want to do a redo of a minimally quilted scrap quilt. Yes. That's a bit of a theme around here as well. Going back and adding a bit more quilting to things that maybe didn't get enough quilting the first pass around now that we've got a bit more confidence. I love that. Big Rockstar energy. I'm going to start saying that all the time. Heather, I hope you're ready for that. I'm going to be like, this is big Rockstar energy. Nissa says, I have a queen size quilt that I've built up too much. So I want to FMQ to do justice to all the piecing. Also, I have lots of quilts with huge background space that I have no ideas on what to put in there. Ooh, yes. Might I suggest graffiti quilting? It's great fun. But we'll talk about lots of other really fabulous options as well as we're going along. Let's see. Dawn says, new cohort, top one to finish is Advanced Learn to Quilt from the Piecing class from 2016. Another class, Quilt Dragonflies from 2018. And the quilt tab I just finished, Cheerful Quilt. Oh, I love that. Those are really lovely names. Mary says, I watched the recent graduation. Also, as an aside, how fun is it that I can throw y'all's comments up like this? I think it's great fun. I watched the recent graduation, was so inspired by the full cloth quilts the graduates completed. I've already started thinking about what mine will look like. Oh, I love that. I have something that I want to do as a tribute to my mom who passed away last year. Never thought I would do a full cloth quilt. Even though the class hasn't started yet, I can't wait. Oh, Mary, I love that so much. That is so, so precious. And I love that you're thinking about making a tribute for your mom. And here's why. My directions for the whole cloth are pretty straightforward. I ask Rockstars to show off. That's my rule, is I want you to show off. But the other thing that I encourage is for Rockstars to share a bit of themselves with us as part of that graduation ceremony, and to essentially tell a bit of a story with their whole cloth. Even if it's just, this is a place that I love, this is a thing that I love, but making a tribute to a person that you love, that's absolutely perfect. Let's see. Oh, I lost my spot again. Here we go. Nola says, the quilt I will gift is Jacob's Ladder. Scrappy. Of course, there's a story with it. I love that, Nola. Paula says, I want to quilt a wall hanging with multiple three-dimensional blocks. Paula, I am here for that big rock star energy. Big rock star energy. Anita says, I am making penguin quilts for my daughter and granddaughter that I would love to quilt myself. That is adorable. Adorable. Let's see. Kathy says, I did a queen size on my Bernina 830 embroidery machine. It was a t-shirt quilt, just meandering, since that's the only thing I know how to do. Yes, Kathy, I love that. And man, a t-shirt quilt. That's no joke. Those are heavy. Thank you for sharing that. That's really fabulous. Angela, this class is designed for a new quilter. Listen, I learned how to free motion quilt so early in my quilting journey that I didn't know yet that I was supposed to be scared of free motion quilting. Supposed to be, right? That's the narrative that so often exists in the quilting world, is like, oh, that free motion quilting, it's big and scary. Not just anybody can do that. Spoiler, like, yeah, you can. So if you are a new quilter, I actually think that this is the perfect time to jump into free motion quilting, because you haven't yet built up any other habits around how you finish your quilts, and everything is new. It is easier to learn one more new thing when all the things are new, right? And it doesn't feel like this additional pressure of like, oh, I've been like quilting for a long time and I've been sending my stuff out for professional long arming. And now to feel like, you know, I'm taking this like step back into like less professional looking quilting because I'm doing it myself. No, this is the perfect time in your journey to learn how to free motion quilt. Love that you asked that, Angela. Love, love, love. All right, ready? Welcome, Lisa Crow, Norma Neal, Susan Tibbetts. Oh, you're stuck together. Jane Waterman, Susan Lapp, Ora Lee Law, Marianne Sinclair, Barbara Lewis, Carla Cavalho, Ann Watska, Yvonne Morgan, Sharon Butts, Robin Hillman, Joy Tempany, Evelyn Johnson, Darlene Carter, Carol Conley, Monica Skiaka, Susan Lowry, Louise Banuski, Anna Pierre, Ryan Schinner, Veronica Chin, Donna Whitney, and Melanie Hart. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy. All right. Big Rockstar Energy. All right. Heather's liking the Big Rockstar Energy too. She texted me in all caps. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, Margo, thank you for answering this. Margo says, my sampler for the class is 60 by 72 with 12-inch finished blocks and no extra borders. So yes, if you use 12-inch blocks, you're going to get it bigger. If you use 10-inch blocks, it'll be a little bit smaller. Thank you for doing that math/measuring for us, Margo. So by the time you finish the class, you will have already tackled some Big Rockstar Energy with a Big Rockstar size quilt under your machine, which just makes it easier, right, to then jump into quilting your own other big quilts, right? Sarah says, I would like to quilt a whole cloth quilt. You are in exactly the right place, Sarah, as you will do that as part of the class. We have our very creative final project with the whole cloth, and we have our more pragmatic final project with the sampler. Love, love, love that. Patty says, hello from Kentucky, late joining, excited here. Patty, I am thrilled that you are here as well, Rockstar. I love this. Let's see. Mo Mammy X says, I'm a newbie. Who is my IMG? Your IMG is your inner mean grump. It's that unkind voice that lives in your head and says really discouraging things and just generally makes stuff hard, right? We're all about making that voice as quiet as possible around here because it gets in the way of fun things like free motion quilting. Terry asked a fabulously practical question. Oh, where'd it go? Hey, Terry. So Terry used some homemade spray base and the quilt's been sitting for a minute. It's normal for it to have shrunk some, Terry, and it'll be totally fine. Totally fine to carry on with quilting it. Yep. Daryl Krause says, I made a quilt for a friend, started quilting it myself, was unhappy with it, and took out all the stitches and sent out to a long arm quilter. I can't wait to quilt with confidence. Daryl, I cannot wait for you to quilt with confidence. We're going to have some big celebration energy, some big rock star energy as that confidence grows and you're able to make quilts for your friends and finish them yourself. It's so thrilling. Yay, yay, yay. Cheryl says, what is the average time you recommend working on this every week to be successful? Ooh, rock stars who are here, who have gone through the class ahead of Cheryl, give us an idea of how much time you spent on it. I would recommend setting aside a couple hours a week. Going through, we have practice weeks in between each of the units. So you get about 2 weeks per unit in order to work on things, and that gives you a little bit of extra time. So I would start off with about 2 hours per week. You may find that you want to increase that from time to time as we are going along and you're working on your final projects as well. But if you're like reading that or hearing that and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Holly-Ann, I can't do 2 hours a week. I can only do 1 hour a week. Therefore, I'm doomed to failure. No, it just means it'll take you a little longer to get through the class, right? So if you have it to give, I would spend at least 2 hours a week, right? If you don't have that to give what you have, and it'll still add up. Because here's the thing, more important than having a big, long chunk of quilting time, I would love to see you being very consistent about quilting 20, 30 minutes a day, right? And when you finish in your sewing room from doing something and you know the next thing you do when you come back is going to be free motion quilting, go ahead and change the foot on your machine and get things set up because that just makes it easy to jump back in, right? So I would focus on, more than anything else, consistency of working on your things, your free motion quilting skills as often as possible, and giving what you can and letting it add up. All right. Remember as well that the time that you spend practicing for Free Motion Quilting Academy doesn't have to be all sewing time, right? We're going to talk very extensively about Free Motion Quilting Academy. Blah, blah, blah. My words just totally left. We're going to talk very extensively about doodling and the value of doodling. And that's something that's very portable. That's something you can do in meetings and lines. If you're riding in the car and you don't get car sick, all of that. So there's lots of little ways to add up time for the class as well. All right. Minnie Wolf says, I am going to quilt a king size I made 2 years ago. Just finished quilting a throw size. I love that. That is some big rock star energy. Patty says, thank you, Heather. I'm a new cohort, fairly new to quilting, almost a year, and so looking forward to this class. I am so looking forward to having you in it, Patty. That is absolutely thrilling. Hello, Carolyn. Carolyn, are you dressed in sparkles? I really hope you are. Carolyn got decked out for graduation last week, you guys. It was fabulous. Carolyn is fabulous. All right. Are we ready? I think this might be our last round of reading names. And then I will resume going through your fabulous little chatter. All right. So Lisa Westendorf, Carol Hales, Amanda Nickel, Virginia Kelly Gibbons, Shauna Peterson, Claudia Drake, Dorothy Flurry, Dorothy, yay, Crystal Johnston, Suzanne Childs, Diane Banks, Bridget Holmschnapp, Leslie Horney, Valerie Alcorn, Kathy Patterson, Janice Hall, Kathy Evans, Elaine Cole, Dawn Kelly, Lisa Keel, Tamitha Kaplan, Linda Good, Peggy Castor, Mary McGlade, Jody Beal, Nancy Sweet, Susan Hedgeland, Alicia Powell, and Sandra Simpson-Craft. Welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy, Rockstars. Now, if you have signed up since we've been here and I did not call your name before now, do let us know. I'm going to do a double check of Kajabi shortly because I'm going to try to get everybody on here. But go ahead and give a holler in the chat as well. This is my cutie Hubster, just so you all know. I call him Hubster. His actual name is John. You know. Carolyn says you will want to do more and more. It's addictive like eating potato chips. Ooh, I'm going to use that. Carolyn, that is a great line. Love that so much. Oh, Lisa, this is really helpful. Lisa says, I work full-time. I would set aside one evening a week and one weekend day for the sewing. I doodled all the time. Lisa, that's really great advice. Thank you so much. Minnie Wolf says, make your practice sandwiches at least fat quarter size, 18 by 21 inches. They're easier to move around, and when you are on a roll, you have plenty of room to keep going. Yes, yes, yes. And I recommend making a handful of practice sandwiches at a time as well. Make yourself a nice little pile. Speaking of, Annie says, is there anything we can do to get ready and get organized? Yeah, I would go to the big box store and get some cheap muslin and some like cheap cotton or cheap 80-20 batting, right? Use your coupons. This is the time to use your coupons. Or if you have a large fabric stash and you've got all the fabric in the back that you like are not in love with anymore, that will work for this as well. And start cutting it down into, half yard, fat quarter kind of sizes and making practice sandwiches, right? Your practice sandwiches are going to be a piece of fabric and then your batting and then another piece of fabric. My personal favorite is to spray baste them. You could also get fusible batting. I know folks that when they're making fat quarter size practice sandwiches, they don't really even bother basting it. They just kind of layer it up, right? But I would go ahead and make a dozen or so and get yourself squared away. The other thing is make sure that you have a foot for your machine that is a free motion quilting foot. Yep. Oh my gosh, Carolyn says, always, Sparkle should be my middle name. That makes me incredibly happy, Carolyn. Christine says, hello, hello, all. Hello, hello. Cheryl asked a critical question. What is the deadline to sign up tonight? All right, I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. So when I say that the deadline is tonight, I mean tonight where you live. And because we have lots and lots of Academy folks that live in time zones further west of me, signups will be open until I get to work tomorrow morning. So approximately 9 a.m. tomorrow. So we have about 12 hours left. Isn't that terribly exciting? And that's because I know that my West Coast people and my Hawaii people, I want to make sure that y'all have time to get in here. So for my Aussies, Wednesday, like afternoon your time. But for the rest of y'all, about 9 a.m. tomorrow is kind of your drop dead. It's decision time. Now, I do encourage you to decide now so I can add you to this lovely little garland. But, which brings me to my next very important question as I am going through the chat here. If you are here and you are still undecided after all of our hoopla this evening, and you're going, this is a lot of hoopla, but how do I know if Free Motion Quilting Academy is actually the right decision for me? That is a very wise question to be asking, right? Because this is an investment. And your quilting is an investment. You want to make sure that you're making a wise decision about that. So if you are here and you are on the fence and you are undecided about whether or not this is the class for you, drop in the chat what your big hesitancy is, right? Like what is making you unsure if this is the right fit? And just like I've been doing all evening, I'm going to speak to those concerns and I'm going to invite the Rockstars who are already here to speak to them as well. All right. Let's see. Connie Zabel just signs up. She needs a link too. Connie Zabel, did I miss you? Where are you? I'm going to go back up and look. There she is. Connie Zabel says, thank you for the recommendation. I'd signed up for the next session. Connie, let us fix this right away. Connie, welcome. Uh-oh, we know that the caffeine is hitting when I get silly. Heather just shook her head. Heather heard that and went, and you know how I know that? Because she shakes her head at me all day, every day, because I'm ridiculous. It's great fun. I love being ridiculous. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Patty, I think I did call your name. But if I didn't, Patty Pritchett, welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy. Nola, I do believe I called your name. I think I remember calling it. But welcome, my dear. Margaret says, holy cow, I love that all these new folks are inspired to join. It's so exciting. I know. Isn't it wonderful? I love having parties. Cheryl says, I don't have Facebook. That's the one thing holding me back. So Cheryl, here's what I would say to that. One, there are lots of ways to stay connected to the Rockstar community without having Facebook, okay? We can stay connected on YouTube. We can stay connected on Instagram, all right? The hardest thing about not having Facebook is that it will make it a little bit harder to ask your questions, but that does not necessarily mean it will be harder to get your questions answered, because all of our Q&A sessions from the Free Motion Quilting Academy Facebook group get archived into Kajabi. So even without Facebook, you can watch them later. And generally, folks are asking a lot of very similar questions, right? Because you're on a very similar journey. And so even though you may not be able to post in the Facebook group to ask your question, you can still get them answered, all right? Rita says, I signed up this evening. I'm so excited for the class. Rita, did I call your name? I believe I did because I remember making one for you earlier, but regardless, Rita, welcome. So thrilled to have you. 80-20 batting is 80% cotton, 20% polyester. And yes, warm and natural is totally fine. Basically use a batting that's not too expensive for getting started. All right. Marcel says, I'm so excited to begin. Yvonne, oh my gosh, I was watching from the wrong place and didn't know how to make a comment that you could see. I see it now, Yvonne. I'm thrilled that you are here. Oh yes, if you're watching in the Facebook group, I may not be able to see your comments. My apologies for that. I didn't even think about that ahead of time. Let's see. Heather posted a link for signing up. Margot, I love that you're commenting so much. Welcome, Rita. Yay, yay, yay. Doing a quilt hop. Love it, Marcel. I've debated that taking this class for a year, says Shauna, and I've decided to jump in. I love it. Carol Denny, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I'm going to jump over here real quick. Oh, there's one more name that I didn't call, and I didn't call her name yet because I wanted to know where I'd left off in making my paper chain link. So Geraldine Krause, welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy. I am thrilled to have you. I'm going to hit the magic refresh button, and I'm going to get my Sharpie ready, and we're going to make some more. We're going to make some more things together. Okay, ready? Tracy, we called your name. Justine, we called your name. Yvonne Cade, welcome to Free Motion Quilting Academy. Look at that. Y'all did a great job of letting us know when you jumped in. I will check again in a moment, but first, let me make sure that I get Yvonne added. Christine says, for all of you who are sitting on the fence because of pricing, look at what you will save in the future by not having to send your quilts to a professional. Amen to that, Christine. Amen to that. Because that adds up fast. All right, I'm making sure I don't see any concerns that I accidentally skipped because I was jumping around a bit. Alrighty, ready? Look at this. Look at how absolutely magnificent y'all are. There are so many of you. This is absolutely thrilling. I want to remind you of what I said at the beginning, that the ends of this chain are not in fact the ends. Y'all are the middle. Y'all are the middle of a really rich and wonderful Rockstar community. There are Rockstars who have come before you in this class, and there are Rockstars who will come after you. And what that means is that you are surrounded and supported by folks who are also passionate about finishing their own quilts. This is a great look. I'm loving this. Who are also passionate about finishing their own quilts, right? Who are also passionate about learning something new, who are also passionate about growing as humans, which is absolutely incredible. Welcome to each and every one of you. I am so thrilled and honored to have you inside Free Motion Quilting Academy. All right, I am gonna slip this off very carefully because I feel like it's making lots of crinkle noises in your ears, and that probably is a bit much, but we'll keep it right here. All right, and I'm gonna throw a quick thing up on the screen. For those of you who are new, right? And you're still thinking about this, right? We addressed a lot of concerns tonight, but I'm just gonna toggle through this super quick and answer this question of how can you become a confident free motion quilting rock star too? And you may have guessed The answer is Free Motion Quilting Academy, all right? But what I want to share with you is these stories. These are 3 rock stars who just graduated from Free Motion Quilting Academy last week. All right, so they are brand fresh new graduates, and I want to share about their experiences. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I'm going to mention it again. There is a link to sign up in the caption of this video, and tonight is the last night to sign up. So if these, all the testimonies you've heard tonight, if the testimonies I'm about to share with you speak to you and you're like, oh, I'm so ready to finish my own quilts, I hope you'll jump in with us. All right, Binti shares, I loved the academy and the course. It gave me so many skills and tools to become a confident quilter. I had done meanders before, but I wanted to learn more free motion quilting motifs. Now I have a great toolbox that I can use on everything, and the extra bonus was how to make quilting plans. I'm very happy and grateful with what I have learned. Working in my own pace on my own time has been very much needed in order to complete the sampler and whole cloth. Thank you, Holly Ann. And then Therese shares, as a newbie quilter with lots of new piece tops, I didn't realize that many quilters sent out their quilts to be finished. So I bought a Juki TL 2010Q and decided I'd learn how to quilt my own quilts. This course gave me the tools and confidence to feel comfortable in completing a quilt from start to finish. I found the Facebook group to be super beneficial in staying connected and accountable. So much more fun to learn with peers and cheer each other along on our free motion quilting journey. I also appreciate how the 2 final projects were so different. Presenting the various motifs on a large quilt and then stretching our imagination and creativity with the whole cloth quilt were worthwhile and valuable experiences. Now I have 2 quilts to truly treasure. Thank you so much, Holly Ann. This is a fantastic course that I would highly recommend to any quilter who is interested in becoming better at FMQ. And then Brenda shares, this was an outstanding course. I had my doubts about feathers, but Holly Ann's guidance and encouragement from the Facebook group, I was able to stick with it and finish. I'm so thrilled to be able to quilt my own quilts with confidence now. The main reason I enrolled in this course was the accessibility and no pressure to finish with this cohort policy. As a former jazz and size instructor, I love that you stress the importance of good posture, taking stretch breaks, and hydrating. Sitting for too long can wreak havoc with the body. I still exercise daily with online programs, hiking, or walks around the neighborhood. I wasn't able to do any of the live Q&As, but I learned a lot from watching the replays. A friend of mine enrolled for the next cohort based on my rave reviews and the ability to take her time. Thank you, Holly Ann, for sharing your talent and wisdom with us. So Rockstars, I hope if you have not yet jumped in with us, that you will. There is a link in the caption of this video. Heather's going to drop it in the chats again. It is stringandstory.com/FMQ Academy. To our nearly 300 rock stars and counting who have already jumped in, welcome. It is my absolute honor to embark on this wonderful adventure with you. I'm excited to spend the next 12 weeks together. And as I hope you've seen this evening, the rock stars who have come before are equally excited to get to know you as we are together in this free motion quilting endeavor. All right, I will see you guys soon. And until then, have an absolutely fabulous evening.